Alright, this vid kinda hurts to make because I used to be very passionate about this thing, and it's the buff program. As of recent, I'm just gonna rip out the bandage. I just feel like there has been either a lack of passion in the buffs or just like a lack of overall usefulness in the buffs. And I don't know I don't know why. I don't work for Kabam. I don't know what's going on over there, but it just really does hurt to see like such a strong program just really fall off over time. And for examples, let's just go back to 2021, right? 2021 was honestly like the year of the buffs. You had Kingpin, you had Mole Man. You had just a ton of great champs like Angela, Diablo, all these really powerful characters that were honestly the top of their classes and still are the top of their classes to this day. And in 2022, you don't have a single character doing that. The only one that could possibly do it is Storm, but like the problem with Storm is that she's a mutant champ. But yeah, for me, it's just, I feel like there's a lack of creativity. Like, let's take the Yondu buff, for example. What he does is really basic. What they changed is really basic, and there's just very little creativity in the buff. And overall, he's just a very mediocre champ. So, lacked creativity and pretty much lacked effectiveness, I would say, because he's really not making an impact on the game at all. So that's one of the buffs, for example. And then we go to, like, this guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a case where it's like, they got the creativity right, but he is, like, one of the worst champs in the game. By far. This dude is horrible. Like, he does nothing of importance. Zero utility, in my opinion. Like, next to zero important utility. Damage is terrible. He is just a very, very bad character. And that sucks because they actually went really creative with this guy. Like, the super slap charges, everything like that was just really creative. But they just really did him dirty when it came to the actual usefulness. And I feel like that's just, like, sums up the whole buff program so far this year. When they lack creativity, they can be somewhat useful, but when they lack usefulness, they can be creative. You can just never have both, it seems. And that's like the complete opposite of last year with like Diablo. Diablo was super creative, and he still is one of the best mystics in the game, you know? Bishop buff was like not too creative. They did make some new mechanics for him, but he was super, super effective, and he still is today. So, like, the buff program last year really had its, like, ups and downs for sure. Like, you know, not every buff was perfect. Like, Nova buff came out that year. Nova's still pretty bad, I would say. But overall, it was such a good year because almost every single buff was just a major hit. Like, Howard was creative and effective. Kingpin, not too creative, but super effective. And yeah, I feel like that's just something that this year's buff program really hasn't accomplished yet. And it does really have me worried for the future of it because I just feel like, is this the end of the buff program? Will it ever be the same? Will it ever go back to its old form? Or is something to look forward to for once? And to answer that, I don't know, and that's why I'm kind of worried about the future of the buff program. But yeah, I mean, that's about it for me.